Alright guys, welcome back to the vlog. Monday morning, we are back at Toprank in the office today after a really cool weekend of both racing and the Ours Day show. Part of the first thing that we do every morning is a 10 a.m. meeting, which we just wrapped up. And Alvin Miles, big part of what we're doing here. Alvin, can you turn around and say what's up to the camera?
Yeah, what's up guys? How's it going?
So Alvin is in charge of, I think, customer relations and communication is a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
A lot of people demand a lot from us. We sell a lot of cars and there's tons of customers and there's so many past customers and there's so much going on all the time. We need somebody that can just totally focus on dealing with customers that have already bought cars. So I can focus on customers that are trying to buy cars. Alvin, what's the drama for the week?
Drama for the week is just vehicles that needs to get here from Japan that are finishing maintenance after the open house that just happened about a few days ago.
Yep, so we've been a little busy. Toprank renovated in Japan. It's taken actually forever, it feels like, but it looks really cool, and go check out Larry Chen or Dustin's videos for more on that. But basically it backed us up a little bit being able to ship cars. So it's taken a little bit longer than usual to do the maintenance and the service. So we have a bunch of cars finally starting to come in, but definitely a little backed up. Even for our own inventory, you can see the shop is looking a little empty. That's because generally we get maybe 15, 20 cars in, at least every 60 days, and we've gotten not much cars in at all in the last year because of how much is shipping. But that is something that we're working on figuring out. So right now, starting off the week, we've got this Celica GT4 that just sold. Finally, this car has been in our inventory forever. So it's getting cleaned up right now, getting ready for its final inspections and ready to ship to the customer. This car is super rad. It's a GT4 WRC, so a homologated version for World Rally. And red with the white TE37s on it is so sick. This car has lots of little goodies all around it, but this is all stock factory aero, the way you would have ordered it from the factory. So pretty cool to see this. It seems like the owner is a pretty rad guy and is actually going to, drive this car, use this car, not rally race it that I know of, but it'll be cool to see this going to somebody that is going to drive it, so it's not just sitting here waiting to be sold. One thing that's really cool about the GT4 is this little wing riser that comes with it. The standard Celica wing sits a little bit lower. This raises it up. I always thought this would be a really cool part for a Supra, to kind of make it, a little bit more aggressive, have that OEM wing stand even just a little bit taller. But pretty cool car. Has some cool kind of stickers and stuff throughout it too, so I'm sure the previous owner was a rad guy as well. But that one is getting knocked out. And then, of course, another R34 GTR shipping to its customer. This one here, getting ready to head out. We just finalized all of our final inspections on this car, so I need to arrange shipping for this car to head somewhere. And then, of course, after this weekend's shenanigans, some work getting done on the R32 GTR. We are taking this car to the track later this week. We have an opportunity to head out to Streets of Willow for like a press event that we're doing with some of our cars, the 32, 33, 34, which I talked about in the last video. They've invited me to bring my 32 GTR, since it is happening at a track, to kind of showcase what a purpose-built Skyline GTR can do on a track, given that the ones we're bringing are all totally stocked. So that'll be coming up later on this week. But for now, back into the office, start knocking out some of these emails, and I'll check back in when the next big thing happens. We just had another car arrive. This one is pretty interesting. It's a car that I've sold previously, not even that long ago. The customer got it, drove it a little bit, and was like, I don't think this is exactly the car for me, and decided that he wanted an FD RX-7, which we have 3 of in inventory. What we don't currently have in inventory right now is another Evo. So this Evo 4 was a car that he bought. It's really cool, actually. It's super good condition, has the BBS LM wheels on it, so this thing looks pretty sick. But just for him, he wanted an RX-7, so we worked out a deal to be able to take the Evo 4 back, get him one of our RX-7s plus cash on the Evo, and do a little trade. Usually trade-ins aren't something we're actually looking to do, especially if the car didn't come from us. If the car did come from us and we know the car and stuff like that, obviously we feel a lot more comfortable doing it because we've done all the maintenance and service. The car was good enough for us to buy it the first time. So as long as this car checks out and there's nothing weird with it, like he didn't send it back to us with a blown engine or some sort of transmission issue or whatever, we're gonna go ahead, finalize the trade and get that totally set up for him. So that'll be a cool trade, and it's always good to have another Evo in stock for sure. Next to it is this R34 GTT that Taka's taking home tonight. So Taka does a lot of our maintenance and service. He's going through checking all of the cars and all of that kind of stuff. Part of doing that is driving the car home, driving it around, putting some miles on it, making sure that under normal driving conditions there's not any weird issues. This car is pretty cool. It's an R34 GTT. It does look like a GTR. It's pretty aggressive. It has custom rear fenders on the back, so much more wider fenders than a GTT is going to have, and actually even a little wider than what an R34 GTR is going to have, so that kind of gives it away a little bit. But otherwise, really cool color. It's same color silver as my R34 GTR, which obviously I can appreciate. Has an actual Z-Tune front bumper, which is pretty interesting. Those are super expensive now, so they must have got a heck of a deal on it back in the day when they built this car. Has genuine GTR front fenders, so you can see everything lines up properly, and then it has a Z-Tune style hood. Now this isn't a real Z-Tune hood, but it is a really nice copy. So this car is pretty sick for sure. Still RB25. It's a 5-speed, so nothing swap drivetrain wise or anything like that. Still rear wheel drive, sitting on some Enkis with some Toyo Proxies on it. Pretty cool car. This is available in our inventory right now for $65,000. So as far as GTTs go, a little bit more on the pricier side of things, but when you take into consideration it is more of a GTR clone, the rear quarter panels are done, the front fenders are done, the front bumper and all of that kind of stuff. To really go back and do all of that, you're looking at probably an extra $20,000+ to convert this car from a base GTT over to looking like this. So if that's what you're trying to do, it's definitely less expensive to just buy it already done. Somebody's already spent the money to do it, and you know exactly how it's going to come out, exactly how it's going to look, because you can see it right here. It's exactly what you need it to be. Another car arriving, but one going out. This one here is a Midnight Purple 2 R34 GTR. This car is leaving us to head to its new owner. This thing is so nice. Midnight Purple. Just, I don't even know if the camera's going to do it justice, but it's so crazy to see the color shift. This is an OEM paint option, which makes it super, super unique that Nissan was offering this, especially back in the 90s. I mean, it's something that you really don't even see on modern cars done very well today, but this is done so nicely, especially for 1999. This one is on LMGT4s, which one of my favorite wheels. Looks so good on it. This one has the Nismo side skirts and rear spats, and it has the S-Tune front bumper on it, but super nice. This guy is awesome. Super hyped that this car is going to him. He's such a cool owner. Has some other cars from us as well. It'll be really exciting to see him enjoying this car, doing his thing with it. We're just waiting on the transporter to come pick it up now, and then I can go home for the day. Tomorrow is a press day for us. We are going to be at Streets of Willow, Willow Springs, with 3 cars, getting some press stuff done. They're gonna be writing an article about the R32, 33, 34, driving impressions on each of them. So I am taking this stock gunmetal R32 GTR tomorrow. I'm excited about this. I like driving these cars. As I mentioned in my previous video, my favorite of the GTRs to drive just totally stock. So I volunteered myself to take the R32. Anytime I get a chance to drive a really nice clean one, I will absolutely take anyone up on that. Ernie's going to be driving the white R33 GTR, which is a completely stock one as well. Again, the theme of the video is to drive them all in their totally stock form. So he's going to be taking that one up. And then really excited for this next one. David, who has been working here a long time, is going to be taking this Bayside Blue R34 GTR V-Spec. I'm really excited for him to do this because he is going to be driving an R34 GTR all the way up to Willow Springs and back. He's driven them before, but this is gonna be different because David bought one and it is on the way to the US. I'm always so hyped when other guys that work here get one of the cars that we sell. I think it's really, really cool. I think it's awesome that you know, they're in a position to be able to do it, and also so cool for our company that they get to drive these around. So this car is really sick. This is a Bayside Blue V-Spec R34 GTR, one owner, really low mileage, about 13,000 miles on this car, 20,000 kilometers. So this car will be headed with us tomorrow, along with the 32 and 34. And again, so sick that David is going to have one of his own arriving here soon. Also, we also have the Futura trailer out. Shout out to Futura for being really cool and supportive, sharing a lot of the content. This car trailer is out because in addition to the 3 cars I just showed you, we're bringing a 4th car, and that is my R32 GTR. So again, this is happening at Willow Springs, which is a racetrack, and as long as the track is reserved for the whole day for press and media stuff, we're gonna bring my R32 just in case we get a chance to put this on track and do some testing with it, do some driving with it. Sean and Ernie are gonna be there also, which is huge for me because obviously I want them to drive the car, get some feedback from it, stuff like that. So we were kind of able to sneak this in by saying, if you're bringing 3 stock cars, wouldn't it be cool to bring one like race car so you could get a driving impression of that? So I'm gonna let some of the journalists drive this thing around the track to get an impression of a built car, but what is gonna be great is that I am gonna get some extra seat time on a racetrack that I don't have to pay for. So hyped to be bringing this car along. We're getting a couple things finalized on it, the splitter back on. It got a little hurt this past weekend at Nissan Challenge, but thankfully Sean and Ernie were able to get that kind of corrected. So we're gonna get this thing put on the trailer, and then I'm going home for an early start to the day tomorrow. I believe about 4:30, planning to be up, getting the car ready, and then be on the road by 5 to make it to the track. Loaded up and on our way to Willow Springs tomorrow. So see you guys at the track. Should be a good one. All right, it is a little after 5 in the morning. We are headed up to Willow Springs. It's dark out still. I'm driving the R32 GTR. So about a 2-hour drive ahead of us. Get there just in time. All right, so we have made it out to streets of Willow Springs International Raceway. We've got the R32, which I drove, R33 that Ernie drove, and the R34 that David drove for a fun little exercise here at the track. But most importantly to me, personally, we brought out one extra car, which is my R32 GTR. This is great because any extra time I can have at any racetrack anywhere in this car is a huge advantage to me. So we're gonna get our little stuff set up here, our tent supplies, stuff like that, and I'm looking forward to getting a chance to drive this thing on a track again this week. If I could go to a track every single week and practice with it, that would be fantastic. That gets hard to do, so take advantage of every opportunity I can, which is what we're doing today. All right, so I'm gonna hop in, go for a little ride along with Ernie driving. Ernie's been working on the car, so he's gonna drive, kind of feel what I feel, and I'm gonna give some feedback. Got Ernie in the driver's seat. Alright, so just got out of the car with Ernie driving. Ernie, what are your initial impressions?
Just getting better. We warm it up and seems to be doing better. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, solid right now.
So our plan here is to do all 3 tracks while we're here. Well, the 3 tracks available to us. So Horse Thief, which we drove earlier with Ernie to test the car. Big Willow, which we're at right now. This is the high-speed track, aka the fastest road in the West. So this is the biggest track that they have here. So we're gonna put the 32 on track with me driving there. So I'll probably put some helmet cam or some dash cam footage in there, just a little bit, so you have to watch the whole thing. But then after we're done on this track, we are gonna move over to Streets of Willow, which is a much smaller track. So my racing season opened at the track that we're at right now, which is Big Willow. and it ends at Streets of Willow. So 2 of the tracks that are here are actually 2 that are on my schedule for Nissan Challenge. So this one's already out of the way, but because I know Big Willow very well, and you can get really high up in the RPMs here because it's a fast track, I wanted to run the car on the track here, and then we're gonna move over to Streets after this. Run it at Streets because that is the actual track that I have to close the season with. So any extra seat time I can get there is absolutely really sick, but I am super hyped to be able to have this car here today to get to drive on the tracks on a weekday. There's almost no one there. There's maybe 10 cars here that are on track for the whole day. So you get lots of time just totally by yourself, and it does really have a serious Gran Turismo vibe to it right now if you've ever played this track in the game. So we wrapped up at Big Willow, and Ernie's passenger here got this plugged in, and he said Sean added a couple degrees of timing.
Yeah, Sean added a couple degrees to see if we get a little improvement, because I think he said on the last time he had the laptop hooked up, he pulled like a few degrees out. So we're gonna add a couple degrees to see. You can do some minor stuff with this called ECU talk. We do a lot of stuff at the shop with this just to check things like the O2 sensors and the airflow meters to make sure everything's working right. So we're able to go in and do some minor tweaks just to see if it improves or makes things worse. And then it kind of gives us an idea what we need to do next when we get the laptop plugged in.
Right, so we're at Streets now. So there's a second track here, well 3 tracks here, but Big Willow we just did, Streets of Willow we're doing next. This is important because the last Nissan Challenge of the season is at Streets of Willow, so we're gonna get a chance to see how this car feels on this track right now, and see what, if anything, we need to do before the next time we're here. Oh, today turned into a bad day. RIP. Not the outcome we wanted from today. Did get to make some progress, making some adjustments to the car, but on the last lap I was doing here, the car lost all oil pressure and seems to be the end of the engine. So we are loaded back up now and are gonna head back. And when we get back, the engine's gonna have to come out, and I'm gonna need to get a new engine, and next round of Nissan Challenge is in 4 weeks. So I'll definitely be skipping grid life since there's no shot I'm having a new engine in the next week, but hopefully in the next 4 weeks I will have a new engine in the car and everything will be great. Despite having my share of incidences at the track today, RIP to my engine, my R32 GTR. The 32 GTR that I did drive home from the track today did great. I am not home yet though. I'm at Blake's house where we are doing some voiceover stuff for Pennzoil. Blake helps me with pretty much all of my video stuff, and the last video that I did for Pennzoil, they wanted me to update some of the voiceover stuff on it, just to make it a little bit more less seasonal, since it's not going to be summer anymore soon. So that's what we're here for, and you get to watch me do a little voiceover bit. All right, I feel like Dr. Dre, we're in the studio right now.
You ready?
And we are gonna do some voiceovers right now.
Yep.
This is where all the magic happens.
All of it.
Yep. Yeah, I have to do things like this to do things like, I don't know, fund my blown engines.
Yep.
From earlier today. We got some necessities up in here right now. We got a couple mango carts from Golden Road, which kind of helps, you know, keep us lubricated. It's like our 1060. And then some Cool Ranch Doritos.
That's why we use Golden Road Mango Carts to help keep our Instagram ads running great on those late September nights.
Yeah, true. We've got the ad running here, and I'm just going to watch it and voice it over, and hopefully that is all we need to do for tonight. A fresh oil change means it's time to go put some more miles on my R33 Skyline GTR. There's not a bad time of year to go driving in Southern California, but there are times that it does get really hot. That's why I use Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic to keep my RB26 running great on those hot Southern California days.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Watch.
One and done.
Yeah.
think this will be out by the time we do this, so let's see how it lines up.
A fresh oil change means it's time to go put some more miles on my R33 Skyline GTR.
Enhancing speech.
Enhancing speech.
Fresh oil change means it's time to go put some more miles on my R33 Skyline GTR. There's not a bad time of year to go driving in Southern California, but there are times that it does get hot. That's why I use Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic to help keep my RB26 running great on those hot Southern California days.
Boom.
Easy.
Easy. This is the car that I drove up to Willow Springs yesterday for the photo video shoot. Ernie took the white 33 and we had a 34 up there also. This one I noticed a couple little things. I'm gonna drive there and drive back. The brakes are squeaking. The battery terminals seem to be a little bit loose, and the driver's window is letting in some air, which I could definitely hear while I was driving the long drive home yesterday. Again, this is kind of why it's good to do some of this stuff. Gives us an opportunity to drive the cars, spend the time in some of these cars so we can kind of get a better understanding of them. In addition to all of our inspections and everything that we do, if the car sits for a little while or hasn't been driven for a while, sometimes these things come up. So it's good to know about those. So made the notes on the windshield, gonna let the guys in the back know so they can take a look at it and make sure that if a customer comes to check out this car, these problems no longer exist. So back in the office for the not super fun part of the job. This is a real job. I know a lot of people don't think that it is, but we do actually work here. I have a ton of emails to go through. I have a bunch of receipts that I need to itemize, and then I sold 2 more Built by Legends R34 GTRs, which is sick. Both owners seem super awesome. They've already purchased the donor cars from me, so now I have to do the contracts. And that is also very necessary, but not super fun. It's just writing up a bunch of forms and editing a bunch of sheets. We're creating some new things. As we sell more of these Built by Legends cars, obviously there's more processes, there's more things that need to go into place. So part of what I do is think about what's missing from some of these agreements, how to make the customer experience better throughout the buying process. Also protect them, protect us, since these do take 18 months to build. So that's what I'll be doing probably for a good part of the rest of the day. All right, Thursday's a wrap. Relatively uneventful day here. Got all my little paperwork and chores done in the office. So that's good. One thing super off on my chest there that I don't have to deal with for the rest of the week. Tonight, I'm taking home the R33 GTR. Not because I necessarily want to, but is currently my only car that is not in some stage of being worked on. Tonight I'm going to meet my friend James, formerly of Donut, now Speed, to hang out at this little non-car related event up in LA. So looking forward to that, to doing some non-car stuff with some car friends. So we're driving this tonight and looking forward to tomorrow, where we have some customer appointments, hopefully making a decision on my engine. I think I found one that's gonna work for my R32 GTR. So I'm gonna try to check that out in the morning, and then it's the weekend. It's Friday morning, guys. We are at a different place this morning. I call it Secret Top Rank. Almost nobody knows that we have a second location in Los Angeles, so or in the LA area, I should say. It's actually in Long Beach. And which is really close to my house. Our Cypress location is where you typically see me at, where all of the cars are and that kind of stuff. But we do have kind of this hidden little warehouse that we do some stuff at when we need extra space, extra room, need to put a car somewhere for a while or whatnot. And that's where we are today. Got some cool things in here, some Volkswagen vans. We've got some Skylines and stuff that get used for parts. For some of the OGs, you'll remember this from when we were in the hangar. So we moved that over here. We've got a handful of different cars here, different things getting worked on, some Datsun stuff, some 4x4 stuff, some extra Skylines, Silvias, etc. This also houses like a lot of our extra engines, spare parts, different things that we need to be able to work on cars, lots of transmissions, all sorts of stuff like that. So good amount of little things going on over here. Eventually we'll be moving more of our stuff from Toprank Cypress over this way. We've had this warehouse now for I think almost 3 years, and isn't totally getting used to its full potential. So we're working on kind of migrating some of the things over here so we can primarily keep Cypress as a showroom and have this more as our storage and actual day-to-day working facility. So cool little spot here. There's a few things I need to get done here this morning before I head to Cypress. And we've got customers coming today, so I'm gonna knock this stuff out here. We'll see you guys at Cypress. All right, we just had the customer come through, check out some cars. The one that he was most interested in was this Bayside Blue one, which is no surprise. This car is completely stock, one owner. It's got 21,000 kilometers on it, so just over 13,000 miles on it. This car is super, super clean, all stock Bayside Blue, so I can absolutely see why he would like it. He said he right now currently has an R34 GTR that he's planning on keeping, but it's pretty modified. So he was looking for one that would be completely stock so he could have both. One modified that he can mob around in, and one that's completely stock that might be a good driver, just kind of little Sunday cruiser or run around car. Also something that you could leave completely stock that would go up in value, and something like this Bayside Blue one owner low mileage car that's completely stock would definitely be that car that would absolutely go up in value. Right here we've got the R32 GTR still on the trailer. I went and looked at an engine today that I'm hoping is going to work out for me so we could get that thing back up and running in the next couple of weeks for sure. We got Alvin Miles blessing us here. This man he got his little camera going on, and he's got some little food going on, and he is going to be stepping into an R33 GTR for the weekend.
Yeah, Midnight Purple
R33 GTR for the weekend for him. Gonna hit some cars and coffee. One cool thing about working at Toprank is that we do allow people that work here to take cars home for the weekend or home for the night, especially if they're going to an event. We encourage that. It's good advertising for us. We want to see these cars out places. People want to see these cars in person, and going to events like Cars and Coffee or different car meets with these cars gives us an opportunity to meet a lot of people, and sales do come from it. We also had a customer kind of checking out some S15s today. The S15 spec Rs are really sick. I have one that's in Japan and eventually is going to ship here. It is also white, also has the arrow on it. So one thing that people really like about the S15 is this backside, the rear wing. It has this really kind of sick little center light right there, the brake light. And this wing is factory. It's really cool, pretty edgy for the time, still looks good today. White obviously being a super popular color for the S15 spec Rs, and man, I cannot wait to have mine here in the States. Another car that we just got in that's kind of interesting, I haven't seen one in person before, but it is a red R33 GTR, factory red, so not repainted. We've had them in stock in Japan before, and they've sold. Never had one here in the States before. I've seen them in the GT25T version, or GTS 25T, which would be like the non-GTR version of the R33. But as an actual GTR, this is my first time seeing a real red one, which is pretty interesting. It is a slightly different color red than the R34 and the R32. This is definitely much closer to what the R32 red is for sure, but the R33 is just a little bit darker, and the R34 is a lot brighter. So active red in the R34 is much, much, much brighter. This color right here, R33, and then behind us over here, we'll get into the R32. And you can see the R32 is like a wine red, but it is actually a little bit more of like a brilliant metallic color, a little brighter. These are really, really cool. They are very rare as far as R32s go. Very limited production numbers, and we just happen to have 4 of them because they are quite popular. Larry Chen has the same color on his, which is that wine red. Super cool on an R32 GTR for sure. Wine red and TH1 blue are both really, really unique colors. So try to find those whenever we can. We've got this R34 GTR, the one that I took up to Monterey, Pebble Beach, did some driving around with. This car is now sold, is heading to Miami, which is maybe the perfect spot for this. White on white, kind of hot boy style. Got those white LM GT3s on it with the Nismo Aero. So excited for this guy. He's gonna love this car. One other car that we have in the shop right now that is definitely worth mentioning from like a personal perspective is this silver R34 GTR. This is sick because it's the same color as my R34 GTR. It has the Z-Tune fenders just like I have on my car. This one has the hood and the Z-Tune front bumper. I have the S-Tune front bumper, which is very similar, but just slightly different. I did also just order these LM GT4 wheels for mine in black. So my car is gonna look basically exactly like this, minus the hood. The next thing I need to get for my 34 though is brakes. This is really sick. These are the R35 style brakes or Brembo GT brakes on it. So that looks really great. Also probably helps with the stopping power. That is absolute overkill for an R34. You definitely don't need that big of brakes, but it does look sick and technically does help because they are bigger brakes. Big fan of this car. Excited to get this one delivered to its owner. This is a car that we've had in storage in Japan for a while. Took some time to get it here because we had to wait for it to turn 25, but this one got some chassis refreshment done, some other maintenance and service while it was there. I know he's really looking forward to having this car, so excited to see him take delivery of this, finally get to drive it. Back into the office for now. So much more to get done today before we call it a week here at the shop. That's it for the week here at the office, at least. Lots of appointments. Lots of customers just dropping in without appointments, which is fine too, even though we don't exactly prefer that. This weekend, I'm taking the R33 GTR home again. As I mentioned in the last video, I've been driving this one a lot. I like this car. I'm happy that I got it, and it's been cool. It's coming together the way that I want it. I like it a lot. I'm not sure what I'm doing entirely this weekend. Probably some car events for sure. I know some of the guys want to get together and roll to some stuff, so I'm probably going to do that. So I'm sure this is definitely not the end of this week's vlog, but on to the weekend. It's the weekend, Sunday morning. We're doing car things. Didn't really do anything yesterday. Took some time off to just chill and relax, but took the 33 for the weekend, so had to do something. And no better thing to do than to come out and support the homies. We're at Lean Customs today, which are really rad pins that I'll show you in a little bit. Doing a Cars and Coffee and pin release in collaboration with our friends Kaiser Cars, who hosted the Super Street event. Also excellent customers of ours. So 33 gets that friends and family parking. But this thing has caught my eye. It's insane. It's a C3 Corvette on Ragamasters. So these are the same wheels I have on the Supra. I love Ragamasters. I've never seen them on a Corvette before, so pretty sick. I've been dreaming of an American muscle car, and something like this definitely catches my attention. It's really, really sick. The Kaiser cars are here. It's got Ford GT, the LFA, which I put in my last video. This is one of my all-time favorite cars. We brought this up to JAI for Japanese Automotive Invitational, and it was obviously at their event the other weekend. This is the car that's getting the pin release. This is a Porsche 935, so like a Kremer racing car basically. These are pretty sick. This one has the Apple computer livery on it, which is super iconic. This thing's really sick. They've been working on it. I know it's been to the track, so I'm hyped to see that they're using it and being able to do cool stuff with it. Also bringing it to events like this so people can see it. It's really sick. Some coffees getting set up in true Porsche style. Got a couple Porsches here too. These are also Kaiser cars. So Carrera GT and then a 911 Safari up there. If you're not familiar with Lean Customs, they do some pretty cool pin drops, among other things. Here's the man himself.
Yo!
What's up, bro? Have a look at one of these pins, man. Is this it?
Yeah, check these out.
Dang, this is it. Sick. Are you hyped?
Oh yeah.
Pin
very,
drop, man. This thing is
very
so
hyped.
rad.
Extremely hyped. Yeah, exactly.
I know,
should have worn a
dude.
shirt like that on.
And we got the LFA
Shut up.
and the Safari.
How many
Wow.
of these are first? Hands
Dang.
up.
And this, the Unimog.
Don't fucking lie to me either.
Her GT.
I mean, the LFA,
You've never
that's
done
the
one?
first. No, we've never done LFA. We've never done the Porsche Carrera GT.
Dang, that's
Oddly
surprising.
enough, right?
That's
Yeah.
surprising, yeah.
All the Porsches we fucking done. This Model 4 GT we've never done.
No way you've done a Unimog before.
We've done one differently.
Out of everything else you've done a
Yeah,
Unimog?
but not like
got it.
this.
Got it. That's funny.
Yeah, not like this
Sick.
one. And then we've done the Apple Car. I mean, they're all different, right? Like even the Safari build, it's completely different from the
that's
ones that
pretty
we've done.
Dang. How long have you been doing this?
Oh man, 2017.
Wow, the
It's been a
OG.
while. Yeah, it's been a while.
The
How
OG.
many pins have you made?
I don't know. Let's count.
Trivia.
One too many.
How many types of cars have you made?
Oh.
That's a great question.
Wow.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
I thought that's the number I thought you'd have on deck.
No,
like
I'd have to like dig into the archives to really figure out.
hundreds or thousands?
Thousands, for
Thousands.
sure. Yeah.
Thousands.
For sure. And we've never done an LFA.
Wow.
I said I'm awake for Kaiser Cars,
Wait to find the guy. That is
Damn.
Yeah,
That's
cool
pretty
as
sick.
fuck.
So the real question is, before the lines add up, can I pre-purchase one of these?
No, they're available on Netflix tonight at 6
What about the
p.m.
LFA?
PST.
That's the one I really? Damn. All right.
You gotta tune into the network.
Yeah.
Dang. All right. Well, I'll have to settle for my real FA when the money comes. All right. It's my buddy Neil.
How are you?
Dude. Okay. So I remember when you got this car, it didn't look anything like it, but now you're out driving it around and it's done some pretty sick stuff to it. This whole car is hand painted, which is interesting. This hood, he rusted out and then had a dude come and actually pinstripe this old school style, which is unique. And then on the side, this taxi door is also hand painted. So it's kind of like a Harlequin Civic, like JDM style, which is pretty rad. And hopefully some more Gretty parts and some things to come on it soon. But the big thing is you're out driving it around, so that's a big first step. And then cars are never finished, man.
No.
They're never finished.
Number one, you gotta rip it. You
Yeah.
gotta rip this thing around town. There's no point in having one if you're not driving it.
Absolutely, dude. Especially a Honda. Let it rip, and then always going to be something more to do to one. I can fully attest to that. But right behind us is the Japanese Motor Union, so we're going to run in and check that out and see what this place is all about. I've actually never been to the Japanese Motor Union before. I always miss their events, but I'm gonna pull up here and dang, this looks pretty rad. Got a half cut of a Datsun right there. All sorts of cool stuff up and around. Dang. Huh. Sick. Let's check it out. Cars keep coming and going, but Neil and I are gonna head out, check out this little automotive coffee shop in the Arts District right now. Look who it is. Alvin Miles, live on camera.
What's going on, guys?
Dude, he's shooting this thing up. We keep talking about this Corvette on the Regas. Dude, it is so gangster. Can you imagine this thing in Japan, Alvin? Always an Infinity guy, but yo, can you imagine, bro, again? Can you imagine this thing just mobbing down the streets of Tokyo?
It would be so sick.
Dude, I need it.
Need it.
Can you imagine? I should get one and send it back to Japan. Dude, that'd be so sick.
That would be awesome.
Damn. All right, well, tell you what, if you guys get me to 100,000 subscribers, I'm gonna buy a C3 Corvette. I'll put some Regas on it, and we're gonna mob that thing around Tokyo.
So hard.
Be so sick. All right, so we're pulling up at Auto Conduct, which is some friends of ours, but actually not Auto Conduct anymore, DTLA Auto Storage, because they've got a new little deal open called Collegium, which is a coffee shop. And as it turns out, there's like an event going on. So we're gonna pull up and see what that's all about. Show Neil the space, possible future event.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. All right, so this is Collegium, the inside of, I guess, what used to be Auto Conduct or Downtown LA Auto Storage. On the other side is where you've been following along. We've done a bunch of events and gone to a bunch of events over there. In the other building is where we keep some cars in storage, which great overflow space for us. But this is pretty rad that they've got some kind of cars on display here. They got a little merch pop up. They got some sneaker resellers in here, built in with the containers. Pretty rad, all in all. Coffee shop going on, little record selection. And then here he is, the man himself. So the event here today is a BMW event. Lots of cool, interesting things. All sorts of different eras and generations of BMWs. But one of my favorites that I'm seeing here right now, I do really like the 3 Series, and I especially love the color of this one right here. It is like a rosé color. And I don't know enough about BMWs to know if this was ever a factory option. I'm guessing probably no, because it is way too cool. But this thing is so sick. Absolutely love the color of this thing. Another one I've always liked are these yellow M3s, the E36s in yellow. They're so sick. We'll definitely take one of these, Larry Chen style, Larry's Lemon. All right, so 2 events down today, off to our 3rd one. We're heading out to Haggerty Garage and Social, where my buddy Steve is hosting a little event. So we're gonna take the R33 there, just special for him. He likes the 33s, so happy to drive it. And then Neil's taking off for the day. This thing is so rad. So sick. Later, bro. All right, wasn't really able to film anything for the Haggerty event, but this is gonna wrap up the video. Despite some losses like my engine and a couple sales this week, there were some big wins, like getting a lot of seat time, getting to kick it with all the boys. This weekend was great, and also a couple big sales. I'm hyped on the new Built by Legends builds. Those are gonna be great. Lots of new things in the works. Next week is another big week with a whole bunch of different things going on. We've got some events with Larry Chen. We got some more filming with Pennzoil. Some new cars arriving, some new cars shipping out. So there'll be lots to do next week for sure. So I'm gonna kick it, chill on the rest of this Sunday with the R33 GTR, and we'll see you guys next week.